Imagine, if you will, a nation isolated for centuries suddenly thrust into the limelight of global conflict. A nation that, within a span of mere decades, transformed from a feudal society to one of the most formidable military powers the world has ever seen. What could drive such a transition? Today, we delve into the rich, complex, and often brutal history of the Japanese army. Our story begins in the late 16th century during the tumultuous Sengoku period. This era of constant warfare led to the rise of the samurai, an elite warrior class whose code of honor, or bushido, would deeply influence the Japanese army's ethos in the centuries to come. As we move into the 17th century, Japan entered a period of isolation under the Tokugawa shogunate. During this time, the samurai transitioned from warriors to bureaucrats, but their martial spirit remained ingrained in Japanese society. Fast forward to the late 19th century, Japan emerged from its self-imposed isolation and rapidly industrialized. The samurai class was abolished and conscription was introduced, creating a modern Western-style army. The Japanese army was quick to prove its effectiveness in the Sino-Japanese War and Russo-Japanese War, securing Japan's place as a major world power. Then came the dark days of the early 20th century. The Japanese army played a central role in the aggressive expansionist policies of Imperial Japan. The invasion of Manchuria, the Second Sino-Japanese War, and World War II all saw the Japanese army involved in widespread atrocities, from the infamous Nanking massacre to the use of forced labor and biological warfare. The Japanese army's story does not end there, though. After World War II, Japan was occupied by Allied forces, and its military was disbanded. In its place, the self-defense forces were established, a force strictly limited to defensive operations. In summary, the history of the Japanese army is a tale of transformation, from the samurai warriors of the Sengoku period to the modern Western-style army of the Meiji era, and finally to the controversial force of the 20th century. It's a narrative of power, honor, brutality, and redemption, a mirror reflecting Japan's own journey as a nation. The history of the Japanese army teaches us about the complexities of societal change, the dangers of unchecked power, and the potential for redemption. It serves as a reminder that history is not just about dates and facts, but about the human stories that shape our world. So the next time you gaze upon the land of the rising sun, remember the tales of its army, an entity that has, for better or worse, shaped the nation into what it is today.